Hey there guys, this is Chris, and today I'm going to be talking to you about an adventure game called Ether 1. Ether 1 is a adventure game about dementia. Now, if you've never had a friend or family member struggle with dementia, it's really horrifying. They lose their own sense of self, they lose their memory, they deteriorate. It's very, very, very harsh and very emotionally draining. And Ether 1 is a sort of Bioshock meets Myst meets Papo and Yo style adventure game trying to grapple with that.
That should do it. Right. Thank you for that. Always nice to get some help around here. Now, if you don't mind, I think it's time to take a seat.
You play someone called a restorer, somebody who has to go into the mind and memory of a victim of dementia and kind of quantum leap into their head and find out what's wrong and try to help them restore their memories and get back who they are as a person.
Our sole purpose this evening is to track the memory and pinpoint its location so we can cleanse it of any disease present. Everything you're seeing in front of you is a visual environment pieced together from our client's subconscious mind. Barren wastelands or an abstract painting reimagined. It's all completely tangible.
First off, I want to say it's a very 90s style adventure game. A lot of adventure games that are made today are very easy on the puzzles. That's not to say they're just easier, there's less of them, and Ether 1 has a buttload of puzzles. And they're the kind of puzzles that, like back in the day in adventure games, you had to take a piece of paper and a pencil, scroll things down, say, oh, I gotta go back here and go back there. You have this room that you go back into, which sort of functions as a mind palace, and you can sort of teleport back and forth between whatever area that you're in that point and the room, and that room kind of serves as your inventory. You can keep things you pick up and find in it, and leave them there. These little artifacts from this person's memory become puzzle pieces that you use to restore who they are as a person and get a little bit of backstory as to what happened in their life and what's going awry. One of the things that's very interesting about this is that you can kind of pick up a lot of stuff, most of which you don't ever need. In an adventure game, if you pick something up, chances are you're going to have to use it. That's not the case in this game. In fact, there's a lot of very useless stuff you can pick up. And for people who play adventure games, that sounds awful. Like, why would I be able to do that? The way that balances out in the game is that basically all the puzzles are optional. The more you play, the more backstory you get, and the more information as to who this person was and why they're going through this. It gives it sort of carte blanche to be really, really, really difficult, but without penalizing the player by permanently taking progress away from them, which is a very interesting way of doing it. It also means you have to really think critically about items. You have to figure out, well, I'm not going to use this beer bottle, but I probably will use this turnkey or this very conspicuous piece of paper. It allows you to sort of internalize the value of certain items over others. One thing I really like about Ether 1 is the sense of place you get out of it. At their best, adventure games, and a lot of PlayStation 1 RPGs as well, were about a sense of tableau, or a sense of place. You look at those backgrounds and those backdrops, and it was about immersing yourself in a location and becoming really intimate with that location. And Ether 1 does that for a location that is really foreign to me, but really familiar, which is old industrial England. A lot of the journal entries that you'll read are about old festivals, letters to other people. It gives you a sense that you're inhabiting a place that doesn't exist anymore. There are problems with Ether 1. A lot of them have to do with padding and exposition. Certain rooms feel like you've been in them before because, well, you have. And you have this untrustworthy doctor who's always telling you very, very specific bits of information, but she kind of repeats herself over and over again, and you get it. You're like, I get it. You're not someone I trust. But I do really like what the game is setting itself out to do, which is to deal with something as difficult and heartbreaking as dementia, and do it in a 90s style of exposition. It really reminds me a lot of Myst in a lot of ways. If you go back and you play Myst, a lot of the really difficult puzzles, to unlock the real ending, were really, really hard and really obfuscated, and they were up to you as a player to figure out after playing it a while. So Ether 1 is that kind of game that sits with you. You can tell this is a small studio's attempt at doing something really, really big, and at moments you see the seams really, really heavily. This could have used a little more pacing, this could have used a little more finesse, but I really, really like how ardent and honest and committed they are to a style of game that isn't made that often. You know, that traditional 90s adventure game is something that kind of went by the wayside, you know. We celebrate these new adventure games coming out, and they're wonderful, but there's something that this has that most of those lack. And if you're the kind of person that really likes that style of game, who grew up on games like Riven and Bad Mojo and, you know, the traditional weird adventure game, you'll probably get a real kick out of what this game is trying to do. And as someone who currently has family members suffering with dementia, it did pull at my heartstrings a couple of times. You know, and I'm not saying all games should do that, but I love it and cheer on games that really take a minute of their time to try. So that's either one. You can pick it up on Steam, and if you are one of those adventure game fans who says to themselves, man, they don't make them like they used to, this is it. This is the one you want.
Moments, like stars, are passing me by, burning so bright and so fast as if they never truly existed at all. They're so beautiful, so fragile. I want to hold on to them. I want to hold on and never let them go. Why can't I hold on anymore? Please.
Alright, so we got our quests here. Let's go. We gotta get air height easy. What was that? No, what is with your head?